The assignment was to create like a grid with 3 cells and 3 rows, which will look like the game Tic Tac Toe. So I suggested it should have some borders drawn. The others are missing. The external borders are missing. Basically, the HTML is very simple. I have a container, which is a div. Inside, I have a div like the first row, which contains a heading for the title, this one. And then I have 3 rows, which are divs as well, which contain, each of them contains another 3 inner divs. That's how I create a structure like a table with 3 rows and 3 cells. Now, in order to make the controls, the div look like this, I need to set the background of each. Therefore, I use the CSS class called square. If you look to this, first of all, I need to set a background, but I need to be able to position this at a floating location inside the flow. Therefore, I set the float to left and clear the right margin, the right control. Now, each of these has a fixed width and height of 100 pixels, and each element here, each div which represents a cell, uses this CSS class. Apart from that, I also need to draw the lines, the border lines. For that, I'm using different type of positioning divs. Like for instance, the divs in the first row, which are on top, they will only have the bottom line drawn here. So I have a border bottom with the size of 1 pixel, style solid, and the background color, which is a bit similar to the background of the square. The background of the square, you may see it's not white, it's darker than white, but this one is for sure the line is close to black. So each cell, each div in the top will have a CSS class of top. That means that they will have the bottom line drawn here. In order to draw the other lines, I'm using, for instance, a left class. The left class will be those will be the left divs, and they will have the right line drawn. Therefore, I'm using for the left class, I'm setting the border, the right border. On the other hand, the cells, the divs that are on the right side, they will have the left line drawn. So I have here for the right class, I'm setting the left border. I also have a bottom line here in which the elements will have the top border drawn. So the bottom contains a CSS setting which is drawing the border top line. And then I also have some middle cell. Actually, I have a middle row. This one will not have any particular CSS setting, because if I will put here, this one should have free border drawn like the one on top, on bottom, and on the right. For that, the other one will have another line drawn here on the left, and so on. But if I draw this with a middle class, with a middle CSS class, then I will double the line, which is already drawn by the ones they are on top or on the bottom div, on the bottom row. On the other hand, this guy here, it's on the middle, both on the vertically and horizontally. So its neighbors are responsible to draw the lines. I'm using here an empty CSS style. I should not have this, but the idea is that I just want to say that this is a middle cell which happens to be in the middle and on the bottom is this one. I do have a middle cell here which is at the top, but in the end, in here I will have a center. And by the way, I don't have the center CSS class either, so I can just remove this because I don't need it. There is no additional stuff that I need to set there. Apart from that, I have a style for the row, which sets the maximum width of the container of the div. I have 3 divs here, which are the rows. And if you look at this, the size should be the sum of the width of those 3 cells. If I sum up 3 cells of 100 pixels, I will end up with 300 pixels. But I also have to count those 2 lines, which will have a weight of a width of 2 pixels in total. So 302 pixels is the width of the row without any margin. And then I just align the text center for the row here, and I put I'm using a font family just to style up the text. So that's about all.